Ever get that feeling? Like you're lugging around this, I don't know, mental baggage.
Yeah.
Full of moments you just wish you could hit rewind on.
Oh, absolutely.
That awkward comment you made, the chance you didn't take, that thing you wish you could just undo. You know that feeling?
Yeah.
That the past just kind of sticks with you.
Yeah, it's like it's not just a memory, like it's still shaping how we feel right now today.
Right. It's heavy stuff.
Yeah.
So today we're going deep.
Yeah.
Deep into Japanese philosophy.
Okay, yeah.
To see if maybe there's a way to not erase those moments, but to look at them different, to make them, less heavy. We're talking about reframing your whole relationship with your own history, basically.
And the really cool thing is these aren't like new agey ideas. They've been around for centuries, influenced some really impressive people. But in the modern world, a lot of us, we haven't really tapped into this wisdom.
Right. It's like these hidden tools just waiting to be discovered. And honestly, once you get the grip that the past has on you, it might just start to loosen. We're going for that aha moment where suddenly every experience you've had, it doesn't seem so much like a burden, but more like something else, something better.
It's interesting because in Western thought, the past is often seen as this fixed thing. The story of who we are is based on what's already happened.
You mess up, boom, you're labeled. Have a setback. That defines your potential. The past is the boss, basically.
Exactly. But Japanese philosophy offers this different viewpoint. It says the past isn't a finished book. It's being rewritten all the time by how we see it in the present. And to really dig into that, we got to start with this idea called mono no aware.
Mono no aware. There's something kind of weighty about that phrase itself, isn't there?
Yeah. It's usually translated as the pathos of things or an awareness of impermanence, but it's more than just knowing that things change and fade. It's a deeper appreciation for that fleeting nature, like finding beauty in the fact that nothing lasts forever.
Which is a beautiful concept, but how does this tie into our path? Like think about a memory, something that still kind of stings when you think about it. You find yourself right back there with all those raw emotions.
Right. And through the lens of mono no aware, you start to see how everything is transient. Think about, cherry blossoms. They're stunning, right?
Yeah.
But part of what makes them so beautiful is knowing their bloom is so short-lived.
Yeah.
This philosophy asks us to see all our experiences, the hard ones too, as part of that same flow. Those moments, they weren't meant to be permanent states of being. They're part of a larger, changing picture.
It really makes you think. Like we look around, seasons change, rivers flow into the ocean, even mountains. Over time, they wear down. Nothing stays the same.
Right.
So why do we treat our past like it's set in stone, unchangeable?
Exactly. And that leads to a really important point. The way we remember our past, it's not a perfect recording of what happened. It's always being interpreted. And if it's an interpretation, well, maybe we can reinterpret.
Okay, I like that. Let's take someone everybody knows.
Right.
Miyamoto Musashi, the legendary samurai.
Yeah.
We think of him as unbeatable, right?
Yeah.
But his early life, it wasn't all victories. He lost fights, got rejected, faced some real hardships.
Imagine if he'd let those setbacks define him. If he'd said, well, I guess I'm a failure. His whole story would be different. What's so powerful is that he took those experiences and learned from them. His defeats weren't just losses. They were information. They helped him grow.
Yeah, he didn't go back and magically change what happened, but he changed what those events meant. And that's where it gets real for everyone listening. Your past isn't this fixed thing. You have the power to reframe it. Those times you struggled, they might not have been roadblocks. They might have been building your resilience.
Think about a time in your past that still feels difficult. And I know we've all got those moments. Instead of just feeling those old feelings, ask yourself, what did I learn from that? How did it make me who I am today? What do you find when you look at it that way?
You might find that a hard time pushed you to develop a skill you now rely on. Or maybe it steered you away from something that wouldn't have been good for you in the long run. It could have even led you to meeting people you wouldn't have met otherwise.
Absolutely. And it's important to say this isn't about pretending the pain wasn't real. It's about recognizing that even in painful experiences, there's often growth, a little piece of wisdom waiting to be discovered.
And to build on that idea of accepting that things change, there's this other beautiful concept. It's called Wabi-sabi.
Wabi-sabi. So we've got impermanence, and now we're adding in this appreciation for imperfection, incompleteness, even what some might see as flaws.
It's like our culture is all about perfection.
Right.
Hide any sign of wear and tear.
Right. Gotta look perfect.
But Wabi-sabi says, no, those imperfections, that's where the real beauty is.
It's like kintsugi, that Japanese art of repairing broken pottery. And they don't just fix it, they highlight the cracks with gold. So the piece becomes even more beautiful, more valuable because of its history.
Now think about those moments in your life that feel broken. A relationship that ended, a goal you didn't reach. What if, instead of trying to bury those experiences, you started seeing them like those gold-filled cracks? They're proof that you lived, learned, and came out stronger.
It's similar to what Zen practitioners believe believe. They find wisdom in simplicity in the natural world. They embrace imperfections as part of what makes life beautiful. They let go of that need for everything to be flawless.
There's a great story about Sen no Rikyu, the tea master. Back then, everyone wanted fancy, perfect tea sets. But Rikyu, he used simple bowls, sometimes even ones that were chipped or had irregular shape. He saw beauty in those imperfections, in the history they held.
Exactly. So if you've ever found yourself in that loop of, if only I'd done this, if only that hadn't happened, what if, instead of seeing those moments as regrets, you saw them as part of your story? Each one playing a role in shaping who you are.
When you look at it like that, your whole relationship with your past can change. Instead of regret and beating yourself up, there's a sense of acceptance, even honor for those experiences that made you you, imperfections and all.
Right. But even when we understand these ideas, impermanence, the beauty of imperfection, sometimes that pull to hold on to past hurts. It's still there. And that's where the idea of Muga.
Muga. It's often translated as no self, the dissolution of the self.
Yeah.
Sounds a little heady, but it's really about recognizing that who we are is always changing. We're not static.
Think of it like a river, it's constantly flowing, changing. The water that's there right now, it'll be gone in a second. And we're like that too. Our thoughts, our feelings, even our bodies, they're all in constant flow.
Imagine yourself 5 years ago, what you believed, what was important to you, even how you felt about things. Are you the exact same person today?
Probably not.
Not likely, right? But we often cling to those past versions of ourselves and the experiences that came with them like they're set in stone.
And here's the thing. Just like you're not the same person you were 5 years ago, you're not the same person you were 5 minutes ago. We're constantly evolving. So the pain that you felt yesterday, it doesn't have to be carried by the you of today in the same way.
Muga is about recognizing that the self who went through that painful experience, in a way, it doesn't even exist anymore. It's a memory, a story. And if we can see that it's not permanent, that opens up the possibility to, rewrite the ending.
That's why practices like Zen meditation focus so much on being present. Because if you're holding on to this fixed idea of yourself based on the past, it makes it really hard to be fully present and learn from what's happening now. And the more we live in the now, the less power the past has over us.
So take a second and think about it.
Yep.
What are you still holding on to? What story about who you were are you telling yourself that's not really who you are now?
Yeah. What if you could really embrace mono-aware, that acceptance of change, find beauty in your imperfections with Wabi-sabi, and really get that your true self is constantly evolving, like in Muga? How would that change how you see your whole life story?
That's a huge shift in perspective.
Yeah.
But even when we get these concepts, sometimes we still get stuck, replaying old hurts. Why is that?
A lot of times it's because we think we have to somehow make peace with the past before we can move on. But what if the past isn't broken? What if it's just what happened?
Okay, that's interesting. And this leads us to another important piece of Japanese wisdom. It's called Shikata Ganai.
Shikata ganai. It means it cannot be helped, or it is what it is. But it's not about just giving up.
Right.
It's not about accepting negativity. It's about recognizing that some things, especially in the past, we just can't change. And fighting against what can't be changed, that just causes more suffering.
Yeah. Shikata Ganai is about figuring out what we can control. Our choices right now, our attitude, our actions moving forward, and then letting go of the things we can't control, putting our energy where it matters.
Right.
Think about a time you had a regret. Maybe something you said, a decision, something that happened. Be honest. Is there anything you can do right now to change that past event?
We can think about it, analyze it, wish it was different, but none of that changes the past. The only thing that changes is how we feel. All that mental energy we spend struggling.
Exactly. Shikata Ganai is like an invitation to just let go of that energy.
Yeah.
Stop clinging to this idea that the past could have been different. Because honestly, if it could have been different, it would have.
This idea was really important in Japan after World War II. They had faced so much devastation, loss, but instead of dwelling on it, they embraced Shikata Ganai. They focused on rebuilding and moving forward.
And isn't that what it's all about? Moving forward. The past only has power when we keep looking back at it. Imagine walking down a road, but you're always looking over your shoulder. You're going to trip, miss what's ahead of you.
But as soon as you turn around, the path is clear. And that fits perfectly with what Zen philosophy teaches about the present moment. The past is done. The future's uncertain. All we really have is right now.
And that brings us to the last piece of this. It's not just about letting go of the past. It's about how we experience every moment from here on out.
So we've got the past taken care of, and the future is a mystery. All that's left is this moment, right? And that's where Ichigo
Ichie. It's usually translated as one time, one meeting. But I think the deeper meaning is this moment will never happen again.
It's a pretty powerful realization. Every single experience we have, every interaction, every breath, it's unique. You can't recreate it exactly. It's a reminder that life, as it's happening, is precious, fleeting.
And when you really get Ichigo Ichie, you're not trying to forget the past. You're just so tuned into the present moment that the past doesn't have that same pull on you.
I was like, think of a sunset. You've probably seen tons of sunsets.
Yeah.
But no two are exactly the same. The colors, the clouds, that specific moment in time. And if you're stuck thinking about a past sunset or worried about tomorrow's, you miss the one that's happening right now.
I love that analogy. So Ichigo Ichie is about being present, savoring each moment like it's a once-in-a-lifetime event. Because it is.
And when we live like that, our conversations become deeper because we're really listening. Even ordinary moments, they become extraordinary because we know they won't last. We stop regretting so much because we're focused on what is, not what could have been.
So if we want to change how we see the past, it's not about erasing it or overthinking it. It's about shifting our focus to right now, this moment, because this is all we really have.
When we're truly present, the past finds its rightful place. It's not this force controlling us. It's just a collection of experiences that got us here. They've shaped us, but they don't define us. They're just the path that led us to this moment, right here, right now, where we can breathe, let go, and choose how we move forward.
So I'm going to leave you with this question. What will you do with this moment? Because this exact one, right now, it's never going to happen again.
Take a deep breath. Be here now.
And remember, every moment is a chance to start fresh.